I've always felt different. I've always seen things, but when I tried to express them as a child, I was always told to ignore it.
There were people that I didn't know that came to me and said, I have this message that I keep getting that I have to deliver to you.
All of a sudden, out of the shadows, a homeless man just jumped right in front of me, and he said, I'm a soul just like you.
I love it.
I wanted to understand the universe and who and what we are and what are we doing here.
We're all part of this amazing soul wave tapping into each other.
This was a major life changer.
You are a light. You have helped me a ton. Thank you.
You've given me the courage to live more from my soul.
Millions of people are awakening. So wake up with Michele Meiche. Be pleased to hear the best-selling authors and experts in the fields of cutting-edge self-help, personal growth, metaphysics, and spirituality. The soul path of awakening. Understand what living awake is.
Hello, soul lights. Wake up. Keep awake. Keep awake. How are you guys doing? Okay, got stuff in the chat. Got lots to share with you. So, Jay Styling in the chat, shutting down. Yes, they are shutting down. Well, they're moving it to Sprecher, which we're not going there. Anyway, hey, just let me roll it back just a little bit because I've been in the chat. Hi, if you're new, welcome. Awakenings with Michele Meiche here. If you want to call in, you have a question, you have a comment, you want to say hi, you want to get a reading, that number is 347-539-5122, 347-539-5122. Press 1 on the keypad if you want to get on air. If you're just listening, that's great, but press 1 on the keypad if you want to get on air. So, let me say hi to people in the chat. So, always in my life, I'm kind of like either ahead of my time or find something that's specialized. So, I think it was 2020. It's been a few years, but let me let everybody know what's going on before we dive in. And by the way, we have Paulo coming on later. So, apparently iHeartRadio bought Blog Talk Radio a few years ago, and they have a platform or an app, really, called Sprecher, which when Blog Talk Radio started being, because I've been on this a long time, and the support, in the beginning they were amazing. The original owner had so much passion, sold it for tons and tons of money. The second owner, passion, not as much as the first, and this was groundbreaking. Those of you that have been with me, I've been doing this podcast. Originally at Cosmic Dimensions, internet radio station. I can't say I'm the first. I can't think of the other guy, Adam Carolla, and then there's another Adam guy that was on MTV back in the day. Those were, people talk about Rogan. Okay, Rogan's late on the chain. There's people that have been pioneers in this. And I got to say, to some degree, in my own little way, I have been a pioneer. I had to self-teach myself, self-taught recording, editing, everything back in the day. Uploading, editing, all the bells and whistles of an audio studio. And then a client of mine told me about this. Shout out to Karen Ward. A few years later, like 2 years later, Blog Talk Radio came. Very plug and play, and I'm like, oh my God, I don't have to set up everything. I can just do it by my phone. The sound, some people have complained about that, but to me, I take content over sound. But I didn't have to have the whole studio set up and do everything that I had to do. Now, since then, things have kind of improved. But I want to be able to still have everything that we have here. So anyway, I think it was January when Blog Talk Radio, there was a lot of glitches, and there still are, not as many. I don't know what's going on, why they can't fix the broadcasting software, but the broadcasting software wasn't working. And, of course, if people upload, a lot of podcasts are pre-recorded, whether video or audio, but I love doing live, and I've always loved doing a live show. Even when I did TV, I loved live, which is funny. A lot of shows that I did, the psychics, the people that they didn't want live, and I'm like, no, I like live. I like being with the studio audience. Ask me questions on the fly. I don't care. So So anyway, I figured, they're going to be phasing out Blog Talk Radio and push people to Spreaker. And sure enough, we got the message today. It might have come before. I don't know. Jay in the chat is saying that. So now I really have to have that push. Well, I've been researching. I mean, it's a lot of hours. And the thing is, if you want to do something live, I want live call-in, the guests to be able to call in, listeners to listen live by call-in, not a link. I don't want people to have to download an app because I don't like doing that when I have when I'm being interviewed. So it's a little bit more specialized, but I have to get it done by January. So I've been looking into that. Where is a way that I can have live broadcasting, decent equipment, without me having to buy a bunch of equipment, but I may have to buy equipment because I don't know if my equipment, I don't know, it's in storage, I could take it out, but things have changed. Things have changed since 2007 to 2009, whatever that was, 2009 whenever I was using, I originally used the broadcast, the mixer, I had the mic, the headphones, and the sound was amazing. I mean, going through the audio mixer, audio interface, MIDI interface, that's what it is, MIDI interface. It's just, I'm extremely busy, and so to just take the time to do that, I have to carve out that time. But anyway, those were the specs. Those are the features I was looking for. I want to have the ability to have live broadcast, guests to call in with a phone number. Listeners can call in or listen live via chat, desktop, or phone. I think that was it. But finding that, and if you notice, most platforms, they don't have that. Even if I did video, which we are going to be doing a portion on YouTube, you still have to get a second software or an app set up to have the call in. And I know it's an easy hack because I did it before and I taught myself editing, sound editing. So I know I can do it. It's just I got to carve out the time. So anyway, I wanted to let everyone know that's what's going on. That's why, I'm not a what's the word? Not couch potato. What's the word? Slacker or whatever. It's just not been able to find the right program, the right platform. It's not even an app because apps don't provide that. They provide part of it, and then there's where is it going to be housed? That's another platform or website. That where is the podcast housed and distributed? So I'm trying to find the way that I can do it automated enough, or find a way that I don't have to be manually uploading stuff all the time. I may have to. It's only once a week. I can give somebody else, my assistant, to do that. I can have someone help me do that. That's not the big deal. But that's what's going on with Blog Talk Radio. So we will be in a new home, a new system, a new way of doing it, and we're going to be expanding. But it's just taking a bit longer to find the right system or put the system together, create the system. It's looking like more and more that I'm going to have to create something. Let's see. Yeah, Jay, I agree with you. Thank you, Tasha. Love this podcast. So sad BTR is over in January. Well, we did go from Cosmic Dimensions Radio, or Cosmic Dimensions, to Blog Talk, and now we have a third incarnation, what'll be better, which I probably should have looked into earlier, but it's like I've just done this. I've had people wanting to monetize. I've had people wanting to, do sponsor, and I probably am going to put more attention into this, but I put more into my clients and workshops and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I love Awakenings also very much. No, Zoom, Tasha, no, Zoom. It's not, let me try to explain this, because I've had a lot of people send me apps, or you should use this. It's not Zoom isn't going live. It's the ability, in other words, if you're using Zoom, unless you interface with YouTube, but that's audio, that's video, right? I still want to have the capability of people to call in. So right now, let's say I was going live on YouTube, because Zoom you have to use with YouTube, because Zoom is just a way of connecting. It's not about going. It's not that platform is just about connecting with people if you want to go live and broadcast, to broadcast live. So in other words, this program right now is broadcasting live. Anyone can listen around the world, right? YouTube does that. So if you're going to use Zoom or any of these other apps, for one, it's video, and I want to make sure I have an audio cast and a video cast. I'm not mixing them. I want to keep them separate for now. But if I use Zoom and interface with YouTube, yes, you would have the chat capability, but you don't have the phone. People can't listen by phone. And we have a lot of listeners, and I love listening by phone. We have a lot of people that listen by phone while they're doing other things. Sure, you can listen on your phone. That's another thing. But for a guest to call in, if it's YouTube, they would have to have a link, whether it's through Zoom or StreamYard or, Riverside FM or Spreaker or Podbean, whatever. First of all, it's video, and you don't have the capability. I have to get the additional software and mixer to have the phone call in, right? Video, it's not as big of a deal because people just get the link, and you could have a live show, and it would have chat. So that's not a problem. I don't mind doing that, but if I'm going to do an audio cast, I'd really like to have a phone number. And honestly, I'd really like to have the phone number, which you can do it. It's just extra work. There are shows that do that or streamers that have a phone number. Because I love the phone going, people calling in, listening, and also people in the chat. So yeah, that's why. That's why it's extra. Tasha Blue, no worries. No, you didn't come in late. No, because Tasha, no worries. It's like a lot of people, I'm having to explain this because they're not realizing it's more complex than just having an app and logging in. Most people that do, like I said, do a podcast, they log in, they upload it later. Sometimes they edit it, or it's not live. It's not live. They're pre-recorded podcasts, unless you're streaming. So when you're using broadcast software, in a way it's like streaming. It's streaming but audio, right? So the streamers, everything's live. The only thing is there's just an extra work. There's an extra, extra little thing or big thing that you have to do to have the call in. So yeah, I could definitely have chat. That's not a big deal. But to have the phone call, and if I want to do live audio without people having to download an app, that's what I'm also trying to get. I'm trying to get the software that people don't have to. If you guys hear me in the back, I'm getting my decaf kind of latte thing. Yeah, but anyway, it'll work out. I'm committed to it because I love doing awakenings. I love connecting with everyone. I'm trying to find a way that we can, all still connect. Anything else in the chat? Thank you, Tasha. Love the channeling and her interacting with people and answering questions. That's what I love as well. So and when Blog Talk was having all the problems, I talked to people where we were emailing back and forth, and they're like, well, you can still do your show. And I'm like, yeah. No, because it's a live show. And they're like, oh, you have to pre-record. I go, no, I don't want to pre-record. To me, that defeats the purpose of, I like doing a live show. So a lot of people don't do live. A lot of people aren't comfortable with live because if your show isn't live, you can edit. You can record any time, which I'm not opposed to doing that sometimes, but I really do like the live connecting. I like people to be able to call in and chat live, listen live, kind of in real time. And when you pre-record, you can't have, you can have a guest, but you don't have live listeners. So, okay, that's it. So I will keep everyone posted. If you want to know what's going on, join. If you follow me on Instagram, if you're on Patreon, you'll know. But if you follow me on Instagram, there is an Awakening/Patreon chat. I'll keep you posted. Or go to my website, soulplayground.org, also soulplayground.life, and subscribe. I think there might be a way to put awakenings that you want to keep in the loop, and I'll let everybody know what's what and what's going on. Okay? Yeah, everybody likes the live program. I like it too. Okay, gang, let's see. The phone number, 347-539-5122. Press 1 on the keypad. Say hello. Let's see who is on air. Hello, you're on air. I love
Oh, hi, Michelle.
You're on air.
This is Donna in California. Hello.
Hi, Donna in California. I can hear you perfectly. Good to hear you.
Great. I wanted to ask you, I had some problems with my Section 8 on low income. I got help with my rent and all, and they're doing like an investigation, like 4 months. But do you see them letting me continue staying into my apartment, or are they going to ask me to leave? I mean, what's going to happen, do you think?
Okay, what's the info? Okay, yeah, it's coming up about money. Are you did you make more money or something?
Yeah.
That's what they're looking into, right? That's what happened. Yeah. Ooh, Donna, I don't know. I honestly, because it's showing. Yeah, it's a little rocky because of the money.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they saw that you made more money, but that's what's coming up.
Well, they went back. They went back years. Yeah.
Oh, so they're doing a whole, okay, what's coming up?
Investigation, yeah.
How did that happen? How did that get those sneaky? How did that?
I know it. It just did, yeah, because my neighbor put his account in my name and the cars because, I've been helping him for free for 5 years. I mean, the cars aren't worth anything, and his accounting makes $1,500 a month in his Social Security, so he's not a rich person or anything. But they counted that as my income, and it wasn't.
Well, you might be able to prove it because it's not showing it's an easy resolve. I don't know how long you've been going through it, but I feel like
4 months.
4 months. Yeah, I don't see it resolving kind of anytime soon.
Okay.
You might be able to fight it. I feel like there's backlog.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel
Could
like
be,
that's why you're not hearing, which could be good on your side. And if you can get him to write a letter, I don't know if you did that already.
Yeah, there's also your money too that I had won.
It's what?
I won money.
Oh, that's why. Okay, because it's showing psychically it has to do with the money, so it's not just him. Oh goodness,
They want to raise their rent.
You what?
They can raise my share. I'm okay with that,
Oh, they might do that. Okay, because I was going to say they might have you pay more. That might be what ends up happening. I don't feel you getting booted out of there, but you may have to pay more is what I'm hearing.
Okay, well, that's all right. Yeah. Okay. I wanted to ask you real quick. Do you see me meeting someone? Do you see me meeting someone?
Let's look and see.
A male.
What's coming up. Yeah. Okay. All right, let's see. Dating. Well, you got to get out and date. Well, this thing's kind of got you a little, bound up. Let's see, what's coming up for Donna?
I know.
Meeting someone, dating. Yeah. You got to kind of get out. Now, I know you said California, but are you near beach or water?
Uh-huh, yeah.
Oh, good. Okay. Because I think you're going to join something. That's where you meet someone. I almost feel I can hear music in the background, and I think there's dancing or there's some kind of social group. Yeah, there's some kind of, it's not right away, March, April, May, maybe into early summer, but I feel you're going to join something and you will meet someone through this party or group thing that you're joining. Yeah. So anything that comes up like that and you feel like, oh, I should just go, or I don't know if I want to, but maybe I should go. I would go. I would do it. Because it does show you meeting someone at a social function. But I feel like it's something where it's from a group and there's like-minded individuals. So I don't know what the interest is, but you all have a shared, there's a similarity. And I feel like it's something new, Donna.
It's what?
I feel like it's something new that you're going to do. I don't feel you're doing it yet.
Oh, okay.
Reason being, now, I don't know, you may go there with someone, a friend or something, but what I can see psychically is I don't know, psychically I feel when you're there, I'm getting the feeling of you're just meeting these people or it's something new.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, but you definitely will meet someone there. No doubt about it.
Oh, good. Okay, wonderful.
And this thing will be solved as well. But I feel it's by beach or water, or it could be like there's like a, whatever this place is, they do a lot, because I see like a building, a structure, there's this grassy area, I see water in the background, and then there's like these, what are they, not kiosks, what are they, they have those white structures a lot of time when people have outdoor tents, like outdoor events.
Oh, okay.
So they do a lot. Are you? Well, I don't want to dox you. I don't want to say where you are, but definitely I feel that it's around water. I definitely feel, and I see mountains in the background or hills I can see, and I see you also holding a pamphlet. So you're going to go to this thing more than one time, and then you do meet this person.
Oh, good.
So this is something new that's coming up for you. Yeah.
Oh, that's
I don't know what it is. If it's a church or a synagogue, I don't know, but it's something. Or they're having an event, someplace that has an event. But I definitely see multiple people. I feel it's a group situation, a group event, and you meet this person.
Oh, okay. Oh, that would be nice. Yeah, I would love that.
Yeah. By the way, I'm doing more reading. I don't know if you do my pick-a-cards, but I have been seeing so many people, this great gathering that's starting next year. I'm already seeing so many people partnering up, whether it's collaboration, business, personal and business, life partner, creative partner, meeting as a creative partner, then dating and getting married. I'm seeing so many partnerings coming up for people. So there is a lot of, spiritually, psychically, if I want to look at it on a the trend is really for this gathering, connecting, sharing, partnering. I think you're just going to see a lot more people sharing, shared resources, shared living, getting creative ideas. And I've been saying this since 2011, and you're seeing this, like the downfall of this whole idea of influencer, which I hate that name. People put, I'm an influencer. What the hell does that mean?
I don't know.
If you really influence people, you don't have to say you're an influencer, okay? Let's just be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But you're going to see, like, the whole celebrity culture is just like legacy media. because that Pluto in Aquarius, it's going to be about the individual. It's going to be about, the street, so to speak, people galvanizing and coming together. But you're going to see, like, more and more, even some of the bigger, radio stations, TV stations, studios, big platforms, millions of people, even those are going to start losing traction because, as we all know, whether it's even a podcast, a radio show, TV show, it doesn't matter, a business, what happens when people get too big, it loses that individuality. To some degree, it loses an authenticity. And also things become a bit more like a factory, a bit more factory run. So you're going to see a lot more movement towards the boutique, individual companies. You're going to see a breaking up of even Amazon. Amazon's going to have some competition. So there's going to be a lot of restructuring. And so that means, people coming together to do more, whether they're, in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 80s, it doesn't matter. You're really going to see people really thinking more outside of the box and taking, chances in their life. So your thing next year is get out there, sparkle, shine. You're very social anyway, so I feel like it's going to be a really good time for you to get out and, I don't know, you might even do some charitable stuff. I don't know. I see you with a lot with groups next year, so some groups you're going to be in.
You see me traveling, Michelle? I like to do that.
You could, yeah, and especially when you meet this person.
Good.
I just feel that next year for you is really the start of just being more sociable. So I don't know if you've been a little bit more of a hermit, but and maybe it's like getting back into your old self of traveling, mixing and steering, as one of my metaphysical teachers, Rach, used to say, mixing and steering. Yeah, traveling, long distance, short distance, going to this event, going to that event. That's where you're going to attract some different people, and that person, that partner that's coming in, that guy that's coming in, is going to be by you being more social again. It's the call for you is to really get out there again. Because you've been a bit inward or something. I don't know. You've been a little more.
Absolutely. No, I have.
Yeah. So it's really time to, to get out there. To get out there.
Okay, I'll do that.
Kind of shake it up. It's time to get into some trouble, Donna. Get into some trouble.
Yeah, right?
Some good trouble. Yeah, just really. Yeah. I really feel like there's a lot of openings and opportunities for people right now, and depending on what it is that you really want to do or what you want to align to. So, yeah.
Good.
Get out there. Yeah.
Excellent.
Sounds good. Keep us posted.
Thank you. I will. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Okay, bye. Okay, someone put Hada in the chat. What are you saying? I'll try it. What is it? What is it? Intuit. Okay, callers, 347-539-5122. Let me write this down, though, in the chat, because Intuit, I like the name. Okay, I'll check it out. So one thing, it's a radio program that allows call-in free. Okay, let's see. What is it? One of the things I wanted to share a little bit, and Paula's going to get on the line with us soon, but how there is so much chaos. I've been hearing so many people say there's so much uncertainty and there's so much chaos. Chaos and uncertainty brings opportunity. And from that chaos, it brings opportunity to create, to try things. You actually have a time right now to really try new things, or old combinations of things, or new combinations of old things, because chaos is creative energy. It's not to be feared. And I know, because I see it on YouTube. I don't really watch much regular TV or stuff, but I see in the ads, or I hear in podcasts or news stations, oh, there's so much chaos. It's something to be feared. But the truth of the matter is chaos is random. It's a lot of random access energy. And just like on your computer, when you have a more random access energy, you can do more on your computer. So before things get too staid or stuck or systemized, there's a lot of openings. That's the time. That's like the mad creative genius. It's like going, it's like having friends over and you're all hungry and you're like, what do you have to eat? What are we going to make? And you're looking in your cupboards and you're, oh my God, we don't have that. You didn't go to the store. We don't. And you're looking. And then you find the right stuff and the right ingredients and the right spices and you make something, right? So I really want to stress for everyone to not fear this chaos, because this chaos, there's so much potential in it. It is creative energy. When things get too systemized, when they get too much in order, it's hard to channel new things. It's hard to create new things. So out of these opportunities where there's a lot that's dissolving or being broken up, there's a lot of harmony right now on the planet, but there's also a lot of dissonance. It depends where you want to focus. But dissonance, when we have dissonance in our life, and even distortion, it shows us where we need to grow or where we're expanding, right? So anytime you think of like jazz, improvisational, there's dissonance in that music, Anytime you have a chord progression or change, there's dissonance. But so some dissonance we like. Everything is not just about resonance, and a lot of people are finding their new resonance, their soul resonance. So I would say right now, if you have an idea, if you want to create something, make something, join with others, collaborate, or you just want to, it's not going to harm you to try to just put it out there and put some energy to it. I would say bridging. I wouldn't say leave one thing for the other. That right now is a really great time to bridge, and we've got some amazing aspects coming astrologically, end of August, September, where if you've been preparing, and this is what I've been saying on this podcast, this is what I've been saying on Patreon, this is what I've been saying on my YouTube pick-a-cards, I'm weaving this in, this prep time, it's been the last couple years, and we're winding into it, these portals, May, June, and August, September, and August, September, Neptune goes into Aries, Saturn goes into Aries, it'll retrograde back until 2026, I think January 2026, back into Pisces. But while it's in that Aries, this is really about the dream and using and manifesting it on the earth plane. What are the dream? What is the idea, especially in forms of communication, information, upliftment, technology, whether it's medical, environmental, educational. But that is what the universe is calling for, because the changes that are meant to happen through this great awakening in all sectors of life have to come through people, and we have to create the systems and the circumstances for it. It's not going to come, there's no fairy godmother, there's no cataclysmic event, and even if there was, and there's 5 people left on the planet, they still have to do it themselves. You know what I'm saying? Nothing happens just by itself. On this earth plane, we are the reflecting consciousness. We receive the impulse from God consciousness, the all that is, infinite, creative, innate intelligence, and we respond to that. We make something happen. We create something. We create that great meal. It doesn't just happen all of a sudden. You don't come in your kitchen and go, oh my God, I'm hungry, and just by saying that there's this amazing meal made. No, you have to do it. So you can either kind of go into a coma of unconsciousness right now and get paralyzed with fear, or you can go, hell, if everything's breaking down anyway, I might as well do what I really want to do. I might as well try this. I might as well make this happen. Whatever is your motivation, but right now the disruptions are for more soul alignment, soul expression, and soul experience. These disruptions that are happening, this dissonance, what seems to be negative or bad or not working, is exactly what is needed to shift consciousness and then bring in more awareness and cognizance. So you were really having to live out what we have talked about or what we've read about or what we talk about in workshops. Now we got to live that. And it's like, that's the courage. That's overcoming the fear and the paralysis, because there's not going to be a Santa Claus, Mr. or Mrs. Santa Claus in the sky anymore. There's not that idea of God, this person up there like, I don't know, Abraham Lincoln or something, sitting down, judging. And that's kind of what we've, assimilated into our understanding of a president or vice president or a prime minister. It's like, oh, okay, if I just vote for everything's going to be okay. That's granddad. Why did you think Biden got in? Because he's like the grandfather. But that's changing. It's like things are going to be much more individualized. Things are going to be broken down, which I've said that prediction, and in the United States, that's exactly what this new administration is wanting to do. And that was my prediction starting in the, mid-2000, 2009, 10, 11, whatever, when the guides were talking about the disruption, the Federal Reserve, yes, not being there anymore, the federal government being minimized, eventually not a federal government as we know it, things going to the cities and states, more autonomy, succession from within states and within the United States. Not just in the United States, it's happening, and it's going to happen in other countries as well. Getting more of this board. So more will be revealed where we see what's really going on. If you really pay attention, you will be able to see. Eventually, people are going to say, look, we realize that a president is just a figurehead. They don't run the country. They're a figurehead, just like a CEO is a figurehead. You think a CEO runs the business? No, the CFO, there's input. There's a board of directors that has more control than the CEO. In fact, they can supplant the CEO. Even if you created a business and you created a company, if the board of directors doesn't like what they're doing, doesn't matter if you're the creator, founder, out you go. And they put somebody else in. That's the same with the president. It's very so. People are going to be waking up to that fact and getting hip and going, okay, we want to see we're making changes. It's going to be like a board of directors or a higher conscious version of the UN where you have heads of state meeting, city, state, community, and an international board. Who is really running the show? Those faces will be revealed. So I would just say right now, if you're saying, oh, I am spiritual or I have these beliefs or I'm metaphysical, and you're in a lot of fear right now, then you're not tapping into that part of you and those beliefs. Because you got to process the fear, obviously. You got to process what's going on individually or what you perceive as going on collectively, that loss of control that we really never had. Once you process that, then you've got to come into the metaphysical understanding, the spiritual, the esoteric, the occult of how things really work and how you do make a difference with how you're living your life, and that we are at this change point. Otherwise, everything has just been like a tea party or ladies at lunch. It's been interesting conversation. Now it's time to take what you've been learning and studying and what you say you believe in, those people that presume they're very spiritual or into yoga, then you should not be operating from fear. Yes, feel fear, process your emotions, anger, whatever it is, but if you're operating from that, then you're not living what you supposedly have been learning and or teaching, right? All right, that's my little 2 cents coming in. Let's get to callers, and then hopefully Paula will be calling in. Hi, you are on air.
Hi, I have a small question. So there was a little legal matter going on in our company that we sold, and I wanted to know if it's actually going to go in our favor.
Okay, what's your first name?
Maria.
Okay. Ooh, everybody with these legal things. Okay, let's see. Is it going to go in the You're getting it cleared up? Okay. For okay, it's still going on though, right? It's going on for a while.
Yes, it just started actually. We just got the
just started. No wonder. Okay,
yesterday.
I feel it's okay because I feel like because I'm glad I asked because it's showing that it's going to go on for a while. So if it just started, let's see what's going to be the ultimate outcome then because it's saying stick to it. Oh, looks good. Are you supposed to get some money back?
Well, basically, they're asking for about $30,000, and they held the last payment that they owed us of $10,000. They held it back, but we wanted to make sure that, like, we hold our end point of like we were not at fault with the lawyers, with proof, obviously, for them not to win.
Okay. Well, it looks like it's going in your favor. If it has to do with money, you could be getting some money back minus cost or something like that is what I'm hearing. But you could be getting some money back is what I'm hearing.
Perfect.
All right, Maria. Thanks for calling
positive. Thank you. And by the way, love your show.
Oh, thank you. Subscribe. Go to my website so I can keep you posted as to what's going on.
I am. Okay? I'm on your Patreon. Yes. Thank you.
Oh, you are? Oh, good, Maria. Oh,
yes, I am.
All right, cool. Oh, good.
Thank you.
Connect to you. All right, bye.
Yes.
All right, so we got Paolo Doro on, artist, mystic, storyteller, and weaver.
Hello.
Paolo.
Aloha.
Hello. Aloha. Yeah, that's right. You're back in the one of the mother countries, right?
Exactly. Yeah, back in the aloha.
I love it. Yeah. Now, of course, we talked a little bit earlier today. First of all, I want you to share anything you want to share about what you've got going on. But I also we talked about in a little bit just, before the recording started, before we went live, and you and I had talked about, especially as an artist with all this chaos and using it as creativity. And I thought, you're the perfect person to talk. You've been through a lot of change. You've just recently went through a lot of change.
Yes.
And you understand that as an artist. So that's my question to open up. But if you want to share anything about yourself with the listeners, that's great. If you want to do that before or you want to just dive in, that's good too.
Let's dive in.
Okay.
I'm a diver. I'm surrounded by the ocean.
Diver.
Let's dive.
That's true. That's true. Oh gosh. Yeah. So I've been hearing, with this whole idea of this. It's almost like it's not just a Wedico virus, but it's like, intentional paralysis. I almost feel like people are being hostage in right? Like sending out these messages.
I agree.
Right?
I agree. Well, this is an interesting time because the forces are using our kind of the couple of chakras above us. They're using those as the highways to imprison our minds. And now they're using that and they're bringing that manifestation of that energy through the media. So this is a time to listen, be aware of things, but be sure it's in your gut. Make sure you're making your own mind up. Do not go and just frivolously, the word.
That word, whatever it is. Yep.
Adapt to something new. It's got to be in your body has it's got its own importance and mentality and healing. Mm-hmm. And so make sure that it's resonating with you, because these thoughts are running through your body and they're becoming manifest. What you're thinking will become manifest. And that's what they want you to believe, that they can control what you're thinking. This is a time not to burn bridges, not to break the connections, but also you make those decisions upon your experience. You make those decisions on what relies to your energy and who you are. And it's an important time to create what you are and who you are. Make the world know this is what I am. This is my brand. This is who I am. I do not have to defend. I do not have to comply with anybody else. I am who I am, and I do not have to identify that or explain that. Very, very much from 1949 on, and I've certainly been here long, from that time on, I came in a time, this time, that said, no, don't adhere to a box. Don't adhere to a name. Don't adhere to a definition. You are more than a definition. And so, yeah, that's my little on the box spiel.
Oh, I love that, Paula. Okay, and the other thing, which is so interesting, it's just interesting to me on this earth plane, like being woke or awakened got co-opted, right? And of course, since 2006 with doing awakenings, right?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, it's like they turned, but it's all this manipulation if you're not really connected to yourself. Same as they know the whole idea right now is to connect on a soul level. Like we are beyond really, I'm not saying don't celebrate your race, color, creed, religion, but we are beyond that. And the soul, and that's such a limitation. If you're living through that lens all the time of, I'm a woman, I'm a man, I'm a this, I'm a Christian, I'm a Catholic. Exactly, because it limits you, disempowers you.
Your phone is a binary tool for them to control you. You're using both your eyes. You're using two binary energies to focus on your phone. And that's what they've done. Actually, there was a Disney movie about a cricket and a robot called Wall-E. Tune into that one, people, because that shows you what's going to happen what it was their plan to happen in the future. Of course, all plans, we all laugh at that, and sort of the deity is a plans, because certainly plans can change. But be aware that you are, and children are focused on this one dimension of life, and it's really also it's disturbing their creativity, and they're not dreaming. They're not able to dream when they focus on this reality. This is important stuff, I feel. I would love to get, on the television. I'd like to get on Fox News and tell them what's up. But why? Because all of the people who believe in Fox News are the dense, and people who follow it, that's why they follow it. There's always a platform like your show for those who want to believe this way, and for those who want to believe like Fox News. Neither one is good nor bad. It is just a place that you're focusing on. And like an atom, when you focus on an atom, you begin to see its movement. You begin to see its patterns. You do not focus on the atom. It is not there.
But, Paul, I will say, like when you're Fox News, there is an infiltration, though, of higher. And I'll be honest, I was kind of shocked. And I was watching, and I remember the guide saying, and those of you that have been listening to this podcast a long time, this has been predicted by the oversouls and the guides over from somewhere between 2009, this information came through, 2011, 2012, and I kept saying to people, you're not going to be paired with who you think you're going to be paired with. And I mean that in the bigger sense of community and like-minded individuals. And we're not going to agree with everybody, what everybody says. And so I find it really interesting that and this is spirit, though. This is how it always is. It's like we can look at it this way. It's always that person that you don't like in the beginning, or maybe you gossiped about, or you got snipey with, that ends up becoming a really good friend or helping you out. It's like your higher self does that to you. It's just Heyoka trickster medicine. It's like, that person, I think they're in their ego. And then you're at an event or something, you're a little lost, you can't find where you're doing whatever, you're speaking engagement, or you want to go to a certain seminar, you can't find it. And who is there? The person that and they're like, oh, hi, how are you? oh, I'll walk you over there. Oh, okay, I can take you there now.
Right.
I'm
But,
telling you, people, that's the wake-up, right?
Right, but this is a time to use the heyoka on the planet, honey. Not only just the person you meet and do not get along with. This is a time to use our heyoka, our own healing energies, to get through all the muck, get through all that.
Well, Paulo, I think it's happening.
It is. It is.
I think it's happening, but people are not. Yeah, they're not getting it. They're like they keep going for. I have to agree with everyone. Well, I don't even know people that are married that agree, or best friends that agree all the time with everything, and so they're looking for this outer confirmation because they're not connected into their soul, their internal guidance, their inner being. They're not. So a lot of people are so threatened if it doesn't look like me or sound like me or the same color as me, the same political party as me, the same race as me. They reject it. And that is not the new paradigm. That's not the new emerging consciousness.
No, not at all. It is if you want to speak of consciousness is what I call consciousness to me. It's the living idea and manifestation of spirit. It is the living idea and manifestation of the soul. However, that world is alive. And it's like science versus religion. They want to see it. If they want to see it, and then they'll believe it. Well, your body has its own belief system. Listen to it. Listen to what you are. Listen to the messages you get from you.
Yeah. Now, Paulo, don't you, when you're saying that, don't you feel, or do you feel, because we are moving in that time, especially it shows in the astrology, Neptune going into, Neptune in Aries and what's the
moving
other thing?
into Aquarius.
Neptune in Saturn. Well, Saturn going into Neptune and into Aries. Okay, I'm feeling the guides. I'm like so spaced out. But anyway, what it's showing, not just in the astrology, but as a channel, I can see this new configuration coming in, where it is that we're to connect more into our spiritual aspect of being. We're meant to connect into that. That's Neptune in Aries, Neptune in...
We're returning. Mm-hmm. We're returning to that, in a sense.
Yeah, we're returning to it, exactly.
That's something we're striving for. That's in us, you see, and we're returning to that. Yeah. The big return, because
the big return, yes.
We're a circle. We're a part of the circle. We are not a distant element. We are part of this circle of life, as you want to put, It is the circle of life, and we're part of it. We're not better than it. We don't manipulate it. We try not. But everybody who does that outside the circle believe that they are not part of that. So what they do consciously, they're not responsible for. And I can see that.
Right.
I don't want to judge it, but I can say, okay, I had a father that absolutely had no idea of how to become what it was meant to be a father, okay? But as I was raised to that degree, I realized he left me the biggest gift, because all I had to do is go completely opposite of what my father would do. And I've been faring that way through life. Well, this is what's happening here on the planet. Everybody's going this way. Well, okay, that's okay if you want to do that, but I kind of want to go this way. And that's how it is. That's what you've got to really understand. Is it who's moving you? Who are you putting your energy and focus on?
Who and what is moving you?
Yeah, who's moving you?
I love that.
Well, you have the knees, you have the ankles, you have the elbows. Those are gates of decision. If you're having trouble with any of those gates, your knees, big knee stuff going, because we are here to make decisions. The knees are speaking. They're saying, oh, yeah, make a decision. I'm carrying you. I'm bending with you. I'm allowing you to do this. Same with all the joints of our body, our neck, everything. All of these, and with the phone again, with the neck, it just goes on. We're here to make decisions, not about them right or wrong, not to be judgment. Rumi said something really interesting. I don't know if any of you have Rumi followers, but any Rumi followers,
I am.
He said, well, when you judge, the stem of the wine glass breaks. In other words, you're not at the party, honey. You can't drink. You can't enjoy anything when you don't have anything to receive. Your stem of the wine glass. You can't hold it. So it's like you're not going to receive anything. Well, then you better learn why. You better understand why your body's doing that. It isn't punishing you. There is no. Everybody wants to go. My grandmother said something. She always comes to me and says things. She says, "You know what? Leave it alone if it isn't broken."
Yeah, that's wise. So, Paolo, I love this. Teresa in the chat saying the Chinese word for chaos is opportunity. Love that.
Yeah, that's
also,
great.
gang, I put it in the chat. Neptune in Aries, Saturn in Aries. Okay, Neptune in Aries, Saturn in Aries. Especially in that Neptune in Aries is what I'm moving out of
Saturn
Pisces. It's about groundingness.
But Saturn in Aries is saying, you know what? It's time to buck the establishment. The powerful patriotic is Saturn. It's the rings and binding you. Well, honey, it's time to break through them. It's time to go through them, and that's what that's what creativity. That's creativity out of the chaos, because the planet itself is chaotic. Saturn is very chaotic, and it takes a ring to hold it together. You see?
Yes. Now, so that's about creating new structure for man or mankind. Aries being the man or mankind, humankind. It's Aries is the archetype of the individual. Right. And then also, Monopoly in the chat. Yeah, you're right. But also, Monopoly in the chat, it's also, when you get Neptune in Aries, if you think of Neptune, it can be delusional. There's probably going to be a lot of saviors, and everybody's going to be a savior and a channel and a this and that. We're going to have to go through all that, of course, and a lot of charlatan energy. But, right, of course. But we had a bit of that in 2012, but then it calmed down, but it'll be ramping up. But Neptune is also rules illusion, delusion, film, TV, cameras, photography, dance, music, arts, vision, dreams. So think about this archetypal image. If Neptune is spirit, spirituality, the cosmos, magic, it's what happens when, who knows, you take a picture even with your phone and somehow something happens and it comes out as a JPEG. I don't know, but it works. Yeah. But now if we think of Aries as the archetype, as a sign of humankind, it also has to do, people say war, but it's also motivation ruled by Mars, energy Mars, and it's also the body, the self. It's to some degree the ego. So they're coming together.
Right, it's the movement of the
body.
But
that visionary. So if we look at, if Aries is representing mankind or humankind and the physical body, and Neptune is spirit, with Neptune going into the sign of Aries, those two have to blend. So it is creating, in a way, a new species, a species that is more based on spirit, spirituality, and the soul, and creativity. This is why you're going to see a lot of jobs getting automated, and we're going to move into a space of being more creators, living more creatively, having more space to create and share our creation.
And that's, there are still tribes in Bali and in Africa where they don't consider themselves artists. They'll be part of the village, and they will just back out and do something because the festival is coming up, and they will create something for that festival, as they do here in Hawaii. Anything that is done with your hands in Hawaii is called the creative spirit. It is with your hands.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah. So I kind of feel like the magician molding the universe. That's where I feel I play anyway. I mean, it's just an image, but I like it. And I kind of feel like I'm molding. I feel like a sculptor. I don't want to be a sculptor that has to be of real life, like Michelangelo or any of that kind of restriction about it. I want to be able to move with the energy, more Tai Chi of the energy. And this is what we have to be. We have to get to the flow.
I think that's what we're meant to do, Paolo, though. What you're saying, think of our life as creation or creativity. I think we got a caller. Hold on one second.
Okay.
Yeah, Saturn and Aries. Let's see, we got a caller. Let's see what.
Okay.
Hi, you're on air.
Hi.
Hello.
I think there's been a mix-up. This is Courtney McDermott. I was supposed to call in for an interview right now, but I think there's been a mix-up. But I've been enjoying your conversation immensely. So,
cool.
Yeah.
We didn't have. They said our guest wasn't able. Oh my gosh! Hi, Courtney.
Hi, Sadie from your team confirmed with my team, but we can postpone. So
yeah,
I'm fascinating listening to the
conversation. The producer
conversation.
called me this morning and said that they didn't hear back or there was trouble. Do you have a team? Maybe they communicated saying that you weren't. Anyway, Courtney, what do you think?
Yeah, they should have confirmed, but that's fine. That's fine. We'll find another time.
Producer.
Okay,
that's great. But what do you do? What do you do? What do you do?
Do you have a question, Courtney?
No, I don't have any questions. No, I don't.
Or share anything?
Yeah.
I'm a writer and a speaker.
Well, I hear a question inside of you. I hear you're at a point of making big decisions here for your life.
Nice.
No, actually, I'm not. I'm not making any decisions.
Well, that may be the decision. That may be the decision.
No,
yes.
Paulo, hold on. So so let's see, Courtney. Okay, so you'll call. I'll let the producer know. Yeah, because we got an email there. Maybe there was a mix-up, but that you weren't able to make it. But anyway, what is your? Let people know. Hopefully, you'll come back. What is your writer? What's your book?
Well, my most recent one is Give Yourself Permission, and that came out about a year ago. But it's in an audiobook, and it's available everywhere. And the first one is Change Starts Within You, and and there's TEDx talks and all other sorts of things online that people can find if they're interested in any of those titles. But look forward to talking to you at some point.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, you're so perfect that what you do and these two books for what people are going through right now, what you've moving through the chaos that happens within change. So yeah, I look forward to talking with you.
Me too. Okay, excellent. Well, I'm excited for your continued conversation. I'll be tuning in.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, you're welcome. Look forward to connecting with
Bye-bye.
you further. Okay, bye-bye.
Same. Bye.
Cool.
Oh, I'm glad I picked up because
Yes.
Okay, so she's listening. Yeah.
Well, it's all gonna
because
it's all good.
Yeah.
You know, it's all
so I don't know what was going on. Anyway, but I love that. Give Yourself Permission, her book, and Change Starts Within You. I like that. Within you.
Yes.
I think that's also people need to remember that the change that's happening is what people have called in, on a deeper level.
Yes, yes. Well, this is a time that we can look at. You could use Neptune as a guide too. He's a guide, and the guide to the deepest part of us. So this is a time to really do some real releasing of things that have held us, binding to certain belief systems, things like that. So Neptune, and that's what frees up our vision and frees up our creativity. But if you go to, it's an interesting thing with Neptune because Neptune, there's levels of Neptune, and Neptune has the surface. The surface of Neptune has the sea as a place in the sea. It moves quickly. It moves quickly at the top. And as you go down and deeper, it's bigger issues. It's bigger spaces of windows. So I believe Neptune is making this transition to show us it is time for a big transition. Neptune is coming in and saying, like Noah parting the waters and saying, look, we're gonna get beyond this stuff on the surface. We're going below. We're going into the depths of who we are. And that's really a powerful time of creation.
Yeah. Well, Neptune ruled by, Pisces, the underworld, the subconscious, the creative unconscious. So there is that call, and dreams, the dreamscape. There is that call to go deep within. And like you said earlier, the ancient memory of going deep within what we already are or what we already know deep within. And
that's it.
Using that, connecting to that, I mean, a lot of times people think of spirit or spirit realm as something up above or the heavens, but it is also that deep within, right? That chthonic underworld, deep within the ocean, the subconscious, creative unconscious, traveling in that area.
90% water. Our brain is 90% water. We're water.
Mm.
We are the depths. We are our, it's like we have the source and we have it depends where our intent and focus is in our life. What are we focusing on? What is our energy adding to this planet? What do we bring to the table here? Do we receive constantly, or are we giving constantly? It's all about balance. It's all about juggling this energy that we think we are and that we know we are. And I would rather not put a lot of energy in what we think. I would not put, Mother said, and I continually say this a lot, is time to put our heads below our hearts, because the heart has no question and the head has no answers.
Mm.
She would say that a lot.
I like that. The heart has no. What was it again?
No.
The heart has no questions, and what is it? The head has no. Say it again. The heart.
Yes, the heart has no questions, and the head has no answers.
Yeah.
Was that right?
Yeah.
No. Yeah, whatever. Now you lost me. Okay, that was right. Good. Put your head below your heart, because your heart has no answers. No, your heart has no questions. Your head has no answers. That's it. Yes. Okay. And every culture in our society, bows. They bow. They bow into Japan.
Mm.
They bow. We curtsy. We learned to do that early in the European style. Every culture bows because that's what you're doing. In the asanas, in the yoga, the baby pose, you're putting your head below your heart.
Yes, the child's pose.
Child pose, right. Putting your head below your heart. Think about that, people. Think about where is your head leading you? What and when is it time to say to your head, back off and let my heart lead with my heart. Coração is one of the biggest. Well, I learned a lot in Brazil about the coração. The heart will never steer you. It'll never. There's no questions about that because they don't have any. It doesn't have any. It just it's like an animal. There's no restrictions on an animal. They don't make a wrong decision. They don't make they don't make mistakes. They just be. And that's what we need to do. That's what we are. We just need to be us. That's all. That's it.
Well, and in some degrees, it's clearing the conditioning or programming to get back to our instinctual awareness, our body wisdom, our intuition. Again, that Neptunian aspect of us that very much got either cut out, really, of society or the lower harmonic of it, of delusion or addictions, escapism, the kind of these things to not connect with that part of ourselves.
Right.
And of course, in my perception, connecting with that part of ourselves is also an aspect of self-responsibility and also compassion, because ruled by Pisces. How can I have self-love, self-compassion, and understanding for myself and others? And then also responsibility that to some degree we are not only creating our individual reality, but a collective reality. And how do we check ourselves? That's going to be that Saturn in Aries is going to be checking ourselves, like what you said a minute ago, what are you really creating here?
Yeah.
And honestly, Paulo, I think, and I don't want to be, I'm not trying to be down on anyone, and I'm not saying I'm perfect at it, but at least I work through stuff, or I have good friends that call me on stuff. I feel there's a real misalignment, and I feel like, quote unquote, people that are supposed to be leading or guiding, or especially the yoga community, spirituality, quote unquote, spiritual leader, that are just freaking out, wigging out. And they did it during the pandemic as well. And it's like, what in the heck are you doing here? You can't have it both ways. You can't say you believe in spirit or spirituality,
right,
and then not use it when the going gets tough, and then everything goes thrown out with the everything is thrown out.
Baby with it.
And I think we have to really pause and go, okay, what's happening here? If you, in other words, if you believe this in good times, and you're, I believe in this, I believe in that. And again, I'm not saying don't process, of course, process, work through your fears, work through this, do whatever. But there's too much, not only misinformation that's going out, but there's too much, people aren't asking the question of, I've been going to this yoga class forever, this person that does this or wrote this book, and now all of a sudden they're just gaslighting me into trying to do something, or so angry at me or at the world or at this president or almost president or this or that. And it's like, okay, what were you doing all this time? What's happening here? That's my question. What are you guys, what's going on here?
What is your contribution? When I was in 2005...
The real contribution.
The real contribution.
Is not in the happy-go-lucky time.
Well, anytime. What you're contributing to anything. Okay, I came from, I don't know, a place in the world where I was open to all these ideas because I had all these memories I had this huge luggage about memories of this lifetime and that lifetime. And when I talk to people, they don't remember their lifetimes when I was growing up. I think, a friend of mine asked me once, she said, my wife asked me once, she said, there were baboons in the time, and they were scripts, they were writers in Egypt. I said, yeah, and you can't teach them nothing anymore. They don't do a damn thing anymore. So in that way, because I would remember these things, and I had no idea where this knowledge was there. It was in me. It's in me, and it's been there every lifetime. And what I'm saying to people out there is, you have the answers to everything, or you would not have the questions about it. You would not know about it if you didn't have the solution in that equation. It doesn't come out of the blue. It is because you have been created to face that energy. So we have now been moved from the major part of California. Now we're on an island here, and it's so incredibly simple. It's so simple, we're going, oh my gosh, it's like, this is too simple. We went from A to Z, we'd like a little intermediate adjustment. But no, we got thrown in, and I know my type of thing I like is I don't want to be, I'm a kind of a lazy mystic. I don't want to go through from A to Z. I'd rather go from A to Z directly. And so it's just not, the other places are going to take care of themselves. Because my intent is not only to progress, but to progress in a way that we are all progressing with that progression.
Yeah.
It isn't progression unless if I progress and you're not. It is only progression if we are all on the bus, all on it. And guess what? We're all on it. Yeah.
We all
really
are.
Yeah.
That whole idea of we're all interconnected, and so at some point it has to be not vilifying. And again, I think that's where this responsibility starts coming in, is how do I not demonize something else or someone else? Perhaps how do I understand it, or how do I work? I think that's going to be a big one in the next 20 years with that Pluto and Aquarius and what it's aspecting. Astrological, the predominance of fire and air, it's going to be how do I work within these existing circumstances. And to your point, when you said the magician, that it is the call to be the magician, to recognize our power and empowerment and really start using it, not as power over, but also not feeling underpowered. And that's the only way that victim consciousness is going to shift, or that patterning of power over, being underpowered, or victim martyr, victim abuser, dominator, invader, dominator culture is only by understanding our true power within a situation or circumstance. And from there, the galvanizing. But first, I feel people have to connect into their own power source, their own empowerment, or higher power, whatever that is for them.
Yeah.
And I think that's the sovereignty, to take ownership. That's the true sovereignty, right?
Take ownership of who you are. And you know, here's a little. I had a visionary friend come, Don Juan. He came to me, and I didn't know who he was. I never met him, and he came to me and he said to me, he said, you know, this body you're in. He said, this body. He said, choose a point on your body, and have that point be the center of light for you, and have that point not ever. And then it was said by Buddha, and it was said by many people, but this is the one I was initiated with through Don Juan. He said, there's a point in your body. It's totally whole, healing, and perfect. There is nothing you can add to it or detract from it. It is just that part of your body that is always constantly in your cheering section. It's constantly moving you to health and happiness and all of those words we want to create. It's there. It's right there. And there was that Japanese artist, I've forgotten what his name was, but he had done this on water. And he had a group of people chant into the water the negativity, and had people chant in the positivity. And in the chanting of the negativity, the water was askew and it was very chaotic, like we were talking about. And in the chanting of that, the love and the wonderful, beautiful, healing sounds, it was forming these incredible formations. That's what's in us. These incredible formations are in us. We are water, and we can form that incredible formation to combat and to believe and flow with the other waters and everyone. So this is what we are going to do by tuning into our power. This is part of the idea I have about it, is tune into the universal power of all of us, because we all are going on. We all have our perfect, beautiful, creative place. And that's what's coming, and that's what's being produced. Yes.
And purpose. And one of the things, to your point about that, people are going to have to learn how to do that, and what's your protocol, you know, for what to some degree it's like knowing your own energetic pattern or your chart, you could say in astrological terms, like where are my shortcomings? What is my pattern? How do I get triggered? Because one of the things that comes with this Neptune, you know, conjunction, Neptune-Saturn conjunction, and it's in Aries, is there's going to be a lot of confusion. Also, there's a lot, and we're already seeing a taste of it, because I always feel like astrology is a language, but things happen before the aspect, or it's already happening. And so if people don't have that inner guidance system and that trust system, and they don't have true support, not just agreeing with them and happy-go-lucky, you know, but be able to see all sides, it is going to be a very triggering and in a confusing time. For people, if they don't have that way of really checking in with themselves, despite external circumstances or appearances, or despite what they're being told or fed,
right?
If they can't bring it back into themselves,
right?
You know, and I do feel 2020.
Buddha said this, and I think it was some Hindu, shamanic man said it also. But Buddha, I believe, said this, that said, do not let anyone walk through your mind with dirty feet.
Yeah.
In other words, so inside of us, we know when something is off. We know. It's just our gut. It is part of our body. It's a resonance, and we know. We may not follow it due to fear, due to other things, due to circumstances, due to whatever, but we do know.
Yeah.
And so if we start to recognize that knowing, and as many things happen in life, if we start to put that intent in that knowing, maybe we just think about it a couple of minutes a day, but the next day we might think about it a couple more, and pretty soon that grows until you have that communication with your body and the knowing body.
With your body,
so
yeah.
Today, sit down and write something to your knowing self and say, today, from now on, I'm going to listen to you. We're going to have this conversation. Yeah. Start that conversation. And I believe that you can have that conversation with anything part of your body. If your eyes are going, talk to your eyes. Why are they not seeing this? Why are you not hearing this? If you have this knowledge with your body, start to be with it and start to be a part of who you are.
And Paolo, what you're reminding me of is this true as yes. Well, to me, what I'm hearing, and an example of this is you have to know yourself and spend time with yourself. And so if you're over-focused on some external identity of yourself and other people, then you're not going to be able to do it. And that's why a lot of people are freaking out, losing ground, not understanding, is because they don't have that connection to themselves and take the time. You know, it's like I was interviewed on a podcast, I don't know if it was last year, whenever it was, last year or something, and we did two interviews, because the first one went out and then the person got all these people saying, God, Michele seems so calm, and how she's adjusting, and because we talked about 2020 and all that brought with the pandemic and everything. And they said, well, would you come back and talk about it? And I said, sure. And I said, no, I'm not always calm or don't feel fear. I go, I just understand myself and I process it, or I have good people I can go to. I have tools that I use so I don't live in that state. But yeah, do I have my little moments? Of course I do. But And so I was really real with them. I'm like, and they're like, oh my God, you do. And I go, yeah, but it takes time. And I go, so I may not stay in this fear and you know, we're chaos. Oh my God, what's going to happen? Or if I don't, they said I got to take this shot and I don't want to, you know. But for me, because I'm so connected to my inner truth, that was never an option for me. And I'm not saying it should be an option or shouldn't be an option. I'm not telling anyone what to do. I'm just using this as an example that when all this happened, I did what I would normally do and what felt right for me, because that's what I normally, that's my sense of truth, my sense of my body guiding me, like you're saying, my body, mind guiding me.
Yeah.
I didn't need an external authority figure to tell me what to do or not do, you know. And I did my research, you know, I did my due diligence, I talked to people, I researched online, and I thought, okay, this is what I'm comfortable doing. But I feel, Paula, with these aspects coming up, people, it's like the higher, it's like ourself wants to get to know ourself. It's like we need to connect in with ourself and have a relationship, as you said, with our own mind and body and our own sense of being.
And it begins with your friend that called in that said forgiveness. Forgiveness is opening the gates of the connection. Forgiveness. Forgive.
Yeah.
Forgive. No matter what that pattern and what that journey was, forgive and allow. Forgive and allow. And believe me, I'm a Taurus, and listen. They named me the volcano in Africa. I blow. I don't. You know, a volcano, when it goes, it goes. It doesn't just like drip. It goes. It's going to erupt, and I erupt, and and after that's over, I go, oh, I feel it. I can release that energy, and it's a way how my body does it, and my continuation of how I feel, who I think I am, but what I know I am is that I'm an eruption. So just know that, and I accept that. So when I erupt, and most people who know that, I think if they step aside, okay, he's erupting, but you'll stop. And you know this from who you are. You have different energies from the stars as you're relying on the astrological. You're your own unique equation of these stars. You came in as this alignment of stars. There is not another being that has your alignment. So know this and begin to learn this. There are many, many schools and many teachers like Michele and others around to help you, to guide you, to keep you in a place that keeps you open. Just open. Just be open and forgive.
Boy, that's key. Ooh,
Yeah.
that's so, oh my gosh, yes. Because we're always learning, and whether we apply it to individually or situation, yes, be open. Because, I mean, that's a biggie. I had to learn that one, boy, because a lot of times what we think it's going to be, it's not. It's not that.
Yeah.
You know, something, and I always say, if you think you know what it is, it's not that. If you think you know who you are, it's not that. Because the truth of us is we're continually, I think you said it earlier, like with the water, we're continually emerging anew.
Yeah.
And so so when we stop and go, this is me, this is the way it is, that's the past. When we say this is me, that's the past. That already that you already happened. There's a new you emerging, right, Paula? Yeah. Once we get that, right? Once you get that, it's like, whoa.
Yeah. Once you understand that an organism of life is movement, an organism does not stand still. It's not stagnant at all. If it is, there's a disease, dis-ease, a break in it. And if that is diseased, it means it stopped moving. So the time now is to stay the organism you are, that movement you are, whatever it is and however it manifests. But be that movement and forgive yourself about those stagnant, diseased areas. We all have them. We all go through places. You know, there was an elder. I did this elder thing, the Indian thing in Canada with a bunch of people, and this guy came over, and the elders were looking at him, and he said, "You know, I don't get this." He was trying to get back to the highway and get his rental car. He had this whole scenario, and the elder looked at him and said, "You're lost, then, huh?" He said, "Yes, I'm lost." He said, "Well, I want you to do this. I want you to get under that lost feeling." Like bend under. He bent the guy down, and he said, "Now put lost on your shoulders, put it on your head, and then stand up, and you'll begin to understand what you mean by lost."
Yeah.
You've got to understand.
Right? Because we change, to your point, because we're moving constantly, this constellation, we're our own, we talk of constellations in the sky, right? In the world, in the universe, in the atmosphere, but we are our own constellation. Yeah. You're right. We're going to get a little lost because we're moving. We're moving positions.
That's right.
And so there's this fear of this movement.
Wrong. Yeah. How many times have we have? I'm on the wrong path. Well, you wouldn't have that question if you were off the path. You wouldn't have that question. You're on the right path because you don't know you can't see the path. If you saw the path, then why go there? Why are you
and even if you're on the wrong path or make the wrong decision or wrong mistake, you can course correct. You know, it's like that saying from the Buddhist tradition where they say balance is like standing on the head of the pin. You go a little to the left, to the right. We don't know balance until we know imbalance.
That's right.
You know. What do you think, Paula? What can help people move through the fear of their own movement that's coming from their higher self, their constant, you know, that aspect of the. What do you think what can help in that situation?
What I would say to them is forget listen to your head, listen to what it says when you wake up, listen to all that, and then say, "Okay, head." Talk to your head and say, "Okay, brain. Okay, head. Now you take a break, take a vacation for a minute, a couple of minutes, whatever, and then now I'm going to listen to my heart and listen to what your heart says. Oh, and maybe your gut will start speaking up. I mean, listen to your stomach. Listen to wherever your body is talking to you, because your body constantly talks to you. And I had this one guy, he kept saying his back hurt, and I said, well, and I turned around after he said this, and he kept saying it. And then I noticed he had a holster with a gun, and it was on the back. And I said, "Do you think this is something your back is protesting about? You have a gun holster on your back, and you're wondering why your back hurts. I mean, your body is telling you. It's like an animal will tell you. if there's something going on, they can sense it, and we can sense it. And so we have to just first forgive and then listen. Forgive and listen to our bodies, and then let the mind come back and do your due diligence during the day, or what you have to do, to get ready for whatever you have to do. I'm not saying not to disregard what you're doing, but I'm saying give time, give some space and time to parts of your body that are speaking to you, and then as they speak to you, talk them back. Say, okay, I understand. I'll be a little more careful this time with my arm or my hand or whatever. Get in touch with it. Talk with it. Have these conversations. First of all, the conversations are with you. Then the conversations you can open up into the world and take your conversations elsewhere where they need to be. But first have them with you and take that inventory. And then when that conversation happens, say, okay, I understand. I forgive working my hand too much, working my arm too much. I forgive myself for doing that. I'll be aware of that. But start to have those conversations. And believe me, that focus of life will change because your brain will start to hear those messages and it will start to align with you. And that's, artists, they become artists because, or musicians or anyone, by practice, because you're telling your brain, okay, I'm serious about this because I'm practicing this. And your brain will say, okay, let's give him support here. Let's help him. He keeps going there. Let's go there. And it was, I forgot the guy who told me this, but he said, early in our lives, in coming here, the tallest building was a church. It was a place to go and gather. And so it was one of the tallest buildings. That's where the energy went because they were total in chaos. They had no idea what they were. This was a new land for them and many people and many places in the world this way. They had to have a place to go and put their energy. They put it to the universe, basically. God, the all that is, however you want to call it. And that was the tallest building. Well, I found out through my era and through my focus and through my life that the Indians also made the teepees. But they made the teepees or any of these totem poles, they put the totem pole and they put a very small creature, a creature that people would just ignore, like a mouse or a bird, part of nature. And they would put that at the top, hidden from behind these animals that they were constantly dealing with. But in back of that, to hold up the teepee was a bird or a mouse, because it lifted it above ourselves and our animals to give us air, to give us life. It's a beautiful thing. I mean, we think of, it is. And if you go back into all these places, and we're going into ancient Egypt or any places, you will find these things. You will see this actually exists, that people believe this, and they had this, and they worked with this. It wasn't just because it was a power. It wasn't because of that. It was the residents of this planet. And you know what? One thing I always wanted to do is I wanted to discover a place. I was a little too late in this lifetime, because every time I tried to do that, it was already discovered. But that was okay, because in my mind, I had discovered it also. But it was like discovery is the true meaning of movement. It's the true meaning of life, is discovering. Discover this movement, turn it towards your body, discover who you are.
Paulo, that's beautiful. I think we're going to end on that one. That's woo, what a nice summation.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for everyone. I appreciate and the blabbering and the blibbering and the whole thing that comes out of me. I don't know. It's always been in my life, so that's who I am. And thank you, Michele, for inviting me in to play with you. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, it's been very fun and enlightening, and thank you for being here and sharing your wisdom and insights. Yeah. And thank everybody else that's joined us today. Keep in touch, soulplayground.life. You can sign up there, subscribe, and actually get a meditation if you subscribe. There's a little gift for you. But if you want to keep in contact, keep in touch, that's the best way to do it. Or Instagram, Patreon, join the Patreon Soul Awakening community, or subscribe to Soul Insights and Tarot with Michele Meiche on YouTube. And Paolo, any place people can connect with you at this time?
Facebook, Instagram. I have also Paolo at Planet Properties. No, that's not it. Paolo Doro
Maui.
Paolo Doro Maui at gmail.com is my email. If you need any more assistance or anything, I'd be glad to help.
Sounds good. I just picked a card from this creative deck. Yeah, for creators. I don't remember what it's called. The Creative Compass.
Ooh.
I love this. Listen to this. It's called Completion, Transformation. You don't move out of it the way you came in. Hopefully your audience won't either.
Ooh, I love it. I love it.
Right?
Nice.
Big transformation for all of us.
Good.
And then here, this kind of speaks, one more, this kind of speaks to what you were saying.
Okay.
Creative heights. The view is different, but it's still a view. Excitement is a balancing act.
Oh, I love this.
Yeah, right?
Post
nice.
Hard. Post that hard. Post
the
that
card,
hard.
You would love these.
Right.
I got them on Tarot Stack, I believe. They're called The Creative's Compass, a navigation tool for creatives by Amal Awad, AmalAwad.
Okay.
Artwork by Zena Lally. All right.
Wow.
A deck of 80 cards, which are a compass for the soulful creative, covering various stages and experiences of creative work.
Ooh,
all right, gang. Go out and create something, even if it's just your day. That's a lot.
Yes.
All right, Paolo. Yes. Big hug, and talk to you later.
Big hug. Okay. Bye.
Awakenings broadcast every Wednesday, 12 p.m. Pacific Time. Archive shows available on iTunes. For continued awakened conversations and insights, join the Awakenings group on Facebook. And check out Michele's blog at soulplayground.com. And keep awake.
Listen, everyone makes messes. It's just a part of life. And the bigger you live, the bigger the mess, if you know what I mean. That's why you need Fabuloso. With twice the active cleaning ingredients, it just completely takes the drama out of any mess. It smells great while you clean. The only way to describe it is a scent of passion. And once you're done cleaning, it lasts so long. You know, if you make a mess, you can get your home dramatically clean with Fabuloso. No worries.
I hurt my neck in a crash. Sobo & Sobo won for me, so I recommended Sobo & Sobo to my brother.
When I fell in the grocery store, Sobo & Sobo got me a settlement. I told my girlfriend to call them.
I suffered a severe concussion in a car accident. Sobo won for me too.
Every year, we help thousands of accident victims referred by friends, family, and attorneys. If you've been injured, call 855-GOT-SOBO.